getting. We're getting better. We are getting better. But ladies and gentlemen, we got to go on to our next very important topic that we talk about here, the cause in the NFL. If you didn't know, we do organizations out here that are impacting the community, impacting just everyone. And we had a special one today, and I'm super excited, ladies and gentlemen. Hayden Hurst Family Foundation. So before we dive into it, we have worked out our technical difficulties from last week, and we're going to play a video so you guys can really understand what this is about. All right? Tune in.
Hey, I'm Hayden Hurst with the Atlanta Falcons. We have a message from my family to yours. Everyone from Marines, sailors, coworkers, friends, and family members has a role to play in suicide prevention. As a community, there are actions we can take to help prevent suicide.
Unfortunately, our family has been affected by suicide. Both my brother and my nephew died by suicide. And additionally, Hayden struggled with depression after having some hard times during his baseball career.
Mental health, depression, anxiety issues run in the Hurst family. And unfortunately, I suffered from my own mental health and depression issues when I was with the Pirates from 2012 until 2015. And in 2016, attempted suicide myself.
And as somebody with a third-party perspective on mental health and suicide prevention, I had no idea that Hayden was suffering with these demons. So when I got the call that he had attempted suicide, it really took me for a loop and something that really shocked me. So for somebody that is a sibling and very close to Hayden, I had no idea that he was suffering with that. As a very outside, positive, happy-go-lucky kid with the world at his fingertips, with such phenomenal athletic ability, I had no idea that he was struggling with this. So our goal as a family is to reach out and to show you guys that there are people that are there to help you, and it does get better in your work being in this world. So let's change how people think about seeing mental health care.
And let's change how people talk about suicide.
Find someone you trust, get the conversation started, and take action.
Connect to help and support. Getting help works to build hope and a positive outlook for the future. Together, we can open the lines of communication, encourage others to embrace the beauty of human flaws and see the gift that lies behind them. Break the silence and bring new perspective to a painful stigma.
And remember, there's someone out there who cares about you, and there's someone out there who loves you.
From our family to yours, it's okay not to be okay.
Wow. Super impactful. I know you guys watching the video just like me. That really should touch a lot of people because we all go through a lot of things. Yeah, Katie, I'm right there with you. I know. Super impactful. And I know it just doesn't affect us. I mean, we're talking about a lot of people who really go through, and a lot of times they don't even feel comfortable to even talk about this with anyone. So I'm so glad we're bringing this subject up, and the Hayden Hurst Family Foundation. We're going to dive in for a little bit of facts. Let's go ahead and dive into it.
So the one thing that I will say for just me is mental illness runs in my family. So this really impacts me a lot too. So, the big thing is that he did go off, Hayden did, to be in the baseball, Pittsburgh Pirates was where he started. He did start in football. He did go to South Carolina where he did play football and then was initially drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. Sorry, I'm trying to collect myself after crying.
It's all right. Trust me.
So anyway, but football gave him a second chance because it was after that minor league career at Pittsburgh where he did try to commit suicide. So, and he was really struggling, and it's pretty amazing that he has created this foundation primarily targeted at youth and at the military, because we all know the military, they come back with PTSD, they come back just mentally damaged from what they've seen, what they've gone through, and he's giving them the tools and the wellness programs that they need to conquer the mental illness that we all know that they suffer with. And I love that he's reaching out to the youth, because we all know that many kids suffer in silence. We've seen how many kids commit suicide because they don't know where else to turn. They can't turn to their families. They don't have the right friends. They don't have the right networks to turn to get the help that they need. So he is providing that through his foundation for the youth of our country, because I feel like our youth gets so far left behind, and it's really sad. I mean, Delilah and Ash will know that from teaching, that, you know, a lot of kids suffer in silence, and that's not right. So I'm proud of Hayden, that he is reaching the youth, and that we are trying to end the stigma that is mental illness in this country. And we are trying to break that barrier that it is okay to get help, and it's okay that mental illness has a spotlight. And I really hope that in the future that people don't look at someone with a mental illness as that they're crazy or deranged or something, because there's been these stigmas about that, and that they need the love, they need the help, and that they need the support as well. And that it's amazing that these football players that have gone through their own personal struggles are now helping others overcome their barriers as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm very proud of Hayden that he's formed this foundation. I'm very proud of the fact that he felt strong enough to share his own story, and that he resonates with other people. And he, I'll be sharing a video on our Let's Talk Football page that shows people that have used his foundation, sharing their thanks to him, and his emotions and his reactions to those videos is pretty powerful. So yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
proud of him.
We
all do like respect for a player that I may not have known a lot about, because you know, there's so many teams you can watch,
right?
And not enough time to follow every player. So it's really opened my heart to want to now watch a Falcons game, see Mr. Hayden Hurst play a little more, and give him some respect. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a powerful subject. I mean, I remember a time where people didn't even want to talk about mental health.
Exactly.
Wrong, and this person is out there still in the league, still a big figure, and out here willing to say that he's thought about suicide, and he's thought about things that, you know, people all over the world have thought about. This is really deep. Like, how do you feel about it, Delilah?
Well, I think the fact that he talked about his own attempt, and the fact that he lost family members.
Yes.
And I think that it's very important. What I liked about the clip is that, one, he's very blessed to have a strong family foundation, right? Like, that they supported him and jumped on board, which is why they added, you know, the family part of the foundation. But he knows that not everyone has that, which is why he created this foundation. And he said, please reach out if you don't have someone to talk to, if you don't have someone to connect to, because unfortunately not everyone has that strong family tie that will support them, because it is a stigma for so many.
Absolutely.
So what I liked about that video is that, you know, he's like, come to this place, please, and we'll help you, right? If you don't have somebody, we'll connect you with somebody, we'll talk to you, we'll help you, we'll walk you through it. Absolutely. And I agree with Kate. I think the fact that he's talking to the youth and veterans is super important, because statistically, the people who are homeless are veterans that have mental health issues.
Yeah.
And that's just the facts. That's just numbers. If you look at it, second highest statistics is teens, specifically LGBTQIA teens. They're the ones who end up on the streets having to deal with like their mental trauma. And so I'm really happy that he created this, knowing that there's a lot of kids in pain as well. Because it's true. I had to deal with a lot of intense stuff, because I used to teach middle school, and it cut close, because I did have some students that went through a lot of stuff, and, you know, also attempted, and it's very, very traumatic to have to deal with that kind of stuff. And so I'm glad that he's out there trying to provide those services, because trust me, they need it.
It's super important. It's super important. Ash, how do you feel?
Like they said, I just love that he is reaching out to youth, because I know as a youth myself, I went through a lot of crap. And like Kate said, it is when you're young and you have problems, you feel alone. You feel crazy yourself. And then you have people around you being like, oh, you're crazy. What's wrong with you? So you do feel isolated. So I think it's really nice that someone like Hayden Hurst is coming out and being like, look, you're not alone. Mm-hmm. I'm a big, tough football player, and look at me. Like, I went through it too. Like, anybody can go through it. Doesn't matter how, like, if you're an athlete, if you're a man, because I know men in general have a really hard time. It's really taboo to come out and have feelings. So I'm just like, someone who's like thought of as like a successful man is coming out and being like, look, anybody, it can be anybody. So I love it. I didn't know anything about Hayden Hurst until I looked into Dak's stuff, and then through Dak, when he had all his stuff going on, I learned about Hayden Hurst and then started watching him. And now every time we watch the Falcons, even Sydney's like, oh, there's your guy, because I just love Hayden Hurst now. So
that's awesome. I mean, this is a subject that brings us all together. We got Bobby on here. He's saying that he's had it. He's had those thoughts. It's an unbelievable how hard it is some days. And he's basically saying, it's the love and support that kept me around, not just from you guys, but from people around him. These are things that we all, like, people go through these things. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it. A lot of people don't want to really go into really how they're feeling. Some people have a really hard time dealing with it. And we're going through this pandemic, which has been super hard. And it's just been really hard. Like, it's been a hard situation. So, Bobby, that we are here for you. And that and look, Anthony's in here as well. No lie, I've lost many battle buddy, and not just the combat. The people go through, and our main mission is doing it. Just by showing this video, like, it's really impacting me. And as you can see, it's impacting the people that are watching. People go through. I've gone through, it may not be necessarily to the point of that, but it's been I've had low moments, and we've all had low moments.
Oh, definitely.
Oh man. And it hits home. And especially when you have somebody with a powerful name that's willing to say something, that's willing to say, hey, I've gone through it too. Don't you worry. I've gone through it too. So I feel like this Hayden Hurst, foundation that he has created, it's not going to not only affect, just the people that watch that video, but by seeing somebody that important being able to say, hey, I've gone through it. I'm a football player. I make a lot of money. I do all this. I have these luxuries, but I have my problems too. I've had suffering too. And I just think it's just an amazing foundation. And we're going to continue to bring these foundations to the table because, man, as you can see, this is such an impactful story. Just by the foundations that we're talking about. We talked about Dak Prescott last week and how his brother committed suicide without him even knowing. He didn't even know that was even happening, and his brother committed suicide. And then the first week we talked about foundation. It's just these new foundations that are being brought forth through the show are absolutely amazing. We would never know about them had we not do these deep dives on these foundations that's really impacting the community. Just feels so good. I mean, does anybody else want to say anything else before we move on? Because that was pretty deep, and I'm really touched just how people were opening up and just saying how they've been through and sending love, hearts. All
I know is we love you, Bobby.
Absolutely, and we love all of you. Anybody that's going through Bobby, anybody that's going through us. We go through things that we don't necessarily bring to the table. Everybody is going through things, but just know. There are people that you can reach out to. Trust me, anybody on the Let's Talk Football family, we talk to each other daily. And if you need somebody to talk to, trust me, we will be there to talk to you. If you need somebody to uplift you or just an encouragement for the day, trust me, you got people right here in the Let's Talk Football family that'll give you that encouragement.
Absolutely. Anytime. I'm a safe space.
Yes. And that's what people need. Just a safe space. Somebody that's not going to go and blab their mouth and talk about it to everybody else, or just somebody that'll just listen. Sometimes you don't want anybody to talk,
you just want to
listen. Just listen to you. And we are that family. So for anybody who feels like they're going through or thinking that they are at their low moment and they just need somebody to talk to that won't judge, hit up the Let's Talk Football family. Guaranteed anybody on this family, and as you can see, we got a lot of people. Anybody will give you the open arm love and show you that you have something to fight for, because
someone is always up in that group chat because we're in different time zones.
Different time zones all day long. I was just telling them I get up to like 400 messages. Trust me, we have people that will talk to you and encourage you. So please, if you are ever going through anybody, reach out to the Let's Talk Football family. We are a family. Seriously, like we are a family.
We are.
Absolutely. So we do have to move on to the next segment.